Hey, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan, the game, and also the Rebel YouTube Underground. And I am back with yet another commentary, but cut the music, yo, cut the music. This is going to be a rant video, so I want you guys to hear me. You're just going to hear my voice and the gunshots popping off in the background while I'm playing the Division. But it seems that the PlayStation 4.5, now known as the PlayStation Neo, is pretty much almost confirmed. Now, it's still a rumor because Sony hasn't come out and said anything. But since Sony hasn't said anything and they've been keeping on the hush, you could pretty much just guess that it's true. Because Sony would have come out a long time ago saying, what do you mean? What are you talking about? We're not making a stronger console. Those are all lies. They haven't said a word. So it's pretty much true. So I have a problem with it. I have a problem with it by a long shot. The biggest problem is I just bought me a PS4 in Black Friday last year. And now they're talking about releasing a more powerful one. So you guys know that I'm, first of all, a graphics whore. I like amazing graphics. I like great performance, which is why I game for the most part on the PC. Like that is where I'm always on. I'm on the PC. My PlayStation 4 is actually collecting dust over there. I've been meaning to get back to it, but you know, the Division has been like, I just been playing a lot of Division. I've been having fun with this game. There are some things I don't like about it, and I will talk about that in the video, but I've been having a lot of fun with this game, so it's been keeping me busy. But I have a problem with it because I feel ripped off. Like, I feel like I should have just stuck to my guns like I did the first 2 years and just not bought the PS4. I feel like my money just went to waste. And a lot of people were damage controlling it. I watched a few YouTubers damage control it. I watched some podcasts with some people, you know, damage control it. Now the console, the super console fans are all for it because, you know, they don't know how to, you know, hold their money and take care of it. So they were like, yeah, man, you know, it's cool that it's coming out. I'm glad that it's coming out, man, because I'm going to buy it, even though I have a PS4 already. But I don't see a problem with it. I'm going to buy this. And then they were making up all these like excuses, damage controlling, straw man arguments. Like, for instance, a lot of them was doing a cell phone thing. You buy a cell phone every year, so how is it a problem to pay for a PS4 and then pay for the PS4 Neo the next few years? Okay, so first of all, let's say this: when you buy a cell phone, you know an upgraded version will be coming out the next year. You go in knowing this, but you just want that little upgrade for that time. Now me, I don't. It takes me like 2 to 3 years to upgrade a phone. I don't just go to one of the next because first of all, I'm good with my money, and I don't see a reason to take a little upgrade. Like, it has to be a huge, significant upgrade for me to want to do it. And that even goes with PC gaming. Like, I just got rid of my 2600K processor. I've had that processor since I've had this rig, and I think that was back in 2002 when I first got this thing. I've had it for that long, and I just got rid of it. That is, and people think that when you get a PC, you have to upgrade everything every year, and that is completely false. The only thing I did upgrade were my graphics cards, and I will upgrade those either a year or 2 years later on down the line. So that is false. Now, Rich Review Tech made a good claim about the cell phone thing. He was like, "This is why this is a false statement to me." So when you get a cell phone and you're ready to upgrade it, normally you're with a carrier. So let's say Sprint, that was a carrier I was with. So I would buy a cell phone and then I would go to the store the next year and they'll come out with a new joint and then they'll say, "Oh yeah, you could get this phone for like $99.99 for if you sign a contract for 2 more years without a service." So they will give you a deal for signing the contract. Now, Sony not going to do that. Now, if Sony did that, I might have been all right. Maybe I got to pay like $120 or something like that for the. In fact, I don't even want to do that. I want to pay like literally $100. So if Sony did something like, if I could trade my PlayStation in and I get $300 back for it, so I only have to pay like $100 to the PS Neo, or even I have to just pay $50, then I'll be all for it. But I know Sony's not going to do that. They're not going to do that for us. Like, that's not going to happen. So that is why this is the problem. That's one reason. Now, cell phones, on the other hand, again, because people were saying, and cell phones even cost more. So cell phones, first of all, is a small pocket computer pretty much. They're smartphones. So not only can you make calls, you can take the phone with you. I can't put a PS4 in my pocket. Last time I checked, it was way too big. The Vita, yeah, but not the PS4. So you can put your cell phone in the pocket. You can go on the internet. You can text people, chat with people, play video games, all that stuff. It does everything and more than what the PlayStation 4 does. And it is actually mobile. That's why it's called a mobile phone. So you can't really compare the two. You really can't. So I don't understand why people was making that claim. And then it goes to like people was like, well, you don't have to buy it because they said that the base PlayStation 4 will still play the same games that the Neo will play. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. But we're gonna get the garbage version of the game. So some people are cool, you know, with the 30 FPS. We've seen these comments like, I like the cinematic feel. I want the 30 FPS. Those people it's cool for. But people like me who want the best and the strongest, that's a problem. I want that 60 FPS. I want that 1080p at all times. I don't want no, okay, this game is at, like, I don't like to have the second best. So I don't want mine to be 900p 30 FPS while the Neo's is 1080p 60 FPS or 30 FPS. Like, I don't want that. I want to be on par with the best. So it's a problem to me, and I honestly feel like they could have just overclocked the PS4 and it would have, you know, performed better. But they decided they want to do that and make a new console. And it's not even a new console, a new version of a console. And the thing is, when you go into the consoles, you buy a gaming console because one, it's easier. You know, you don't have to upgrade anything. It's going to run for, you know, a few, like 5 or 6 years, and then they may announce a new console, a brand new console, not an upgraded version, because you know that they're going to start dropping like the minis and the stuff like that. But who buys a mini version when you have the base version? Like, you would have to be a sucker to actually go and spend money on just a slim version when it's the same base system that you already own. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. You are a sucker. You are bad with your money if you go out there and spend your money just because they come out with a slim version. Now, don't get me wrong. I have the slim Xbox, one of the slim ones, not the super slim one that came out, you know, later on. But I have one of the slim Xbox 360s, and that was because my older 360s broke. So I had to get it because that was like the only one that was selling at the time. So if you feel that way, because I heard people saying that, like, yeah, man, you know, the slim ones come out, you know, people go get the slims. Yeah, I'm pretty much, you know, the majority of the smart people don't go out and just buy the slim if they already have a PlayStation or the PlayStation 3. They didn't go out and just buy the slim PlayStation 3, or if they had the Xbox 360 and it was still working, they didn't go out and buy the Xbox 360 Slim. You know, that would be stupid. That's how I look at it. I just think that's a dumb move. So that's another argument that I think is just pretty dumb. And I don't understand, like, Sony knows that, you know, this could have a bad outcome. I mean, we've seen what happened to Sega back in the day. So a lot of you guys are young. Y'all probably didn't have Sega Genesis, or you probably played your older brother's Sega Genesis. But when Sega was out back in the 90s, they had a competition. You know, their competitor was the Super NES. Now, the Super NES had better graphics than the Sega Genesis. So what Sega decided to do to keep up and to be on par with the Super NES was to come out with a separate hardware called the 32X. The 32X, it pretty much was like you turned your Sega into Frankenstein. You had to put that sucker on your Sega Genesis. You even had to plug that sucker into its own power source. And it would play games that had better graphics. You had Virtua Fighter, things like that on there. Doom, you know, things that were 32-bit. And so, yeah, they did that. They had that idea. Problem was, first of all, you had to pay for that sucker. It really wasn't cheap. 2, you had to buy only 32-bit games for it. So you had your own 32X games that you had to purchase in order to play with those graphics. People didn't like that. It also made them, not sure about Sega. It made them, you know, not want to support them anymore because Sega sold them one thing and then told them they had to buy this other thing. So they lost faith. And that's what a lot of people are feeling with Sony right now, me being one of them. like I'm losing faith in them because like, yo, you came out with a console. I just paid for that sucker, and you coming out with a better one and making me have to go pay for that. Like, come on. Like, why would I want to go pay for another console? It should have been that strong from the jump. Like, y'all knew that PCs were playing at 1080p since 2011, bro. Like, come on. And 60 FPS too. Like, come on, you guys knew this. You knew that 4K was a thing since 2013. I was selling 4K TVs that year. Like, and they were at reasonable prices. Like, come on, yo. They knew about this. But they decided to go the cheap route because they felt their fan base didn't want to spend, you know, $600 or $700 for a system. And it's funny because a lot of people were complaining like, yeah, I wouldn't have bought the PlayStation that came out with that price, but you literally paid $400 or $300 for your PS4, and now you are happy to be able to go out and pay another $400 just for one that has a bit more power in it. How hypocritical is that? I just want to point that out. Like, how hypocritical is that? So, I don't understand, Sony. I don't understand why y'all doing it. I think it's a dumb idea. I don't think it should happen. Xbox, you'd be smart not to do it too. I think Xbox should not even try it. Just keep the Xbox how it is, because you're really going to separate the community. And they're claiming that no, that's not going to happen because you could play the same games on the base PS4 as the base Neo. I mean, as the PS4 Neo. But I remember Nintendo was saying that before the new 3DS came out. You know, it was claiming that no, you can still play the same games that are coming out on both systems. But then as the new 3DS was coming out towards release, that all changed. So it then became, oh yeah, you can play your old 3DS games on the new 3DS, but the new games that are coming out will only work on the 3DS because the games are going to be only suitable and powerful enough to play on the new 3DS. If you don't have it, it won't work on the other games. And that's how it's going to be because the developers are already upset about the Neo. They're already complaining about it because that's extra work they're going to have to do to try to make it so they can both work with their game can work with both the PS4 and the PS4 Neo. On top of that, I feel like they're just going to either start dropping just lazy ports onto the older version, or it's just going to get to the point where Sony's going to see that not a lot of people are buying a Neo, and they're going to have to force you to buy it, which they're going to just come out and say, all right, look, if you want to play these games, you got to buy the Neo. You have to have it because the games are only going to be 1080p 60 FPS now, or 900p 60 FPS. Like, that's all. They're just going to come out and say it. Like, I feel like that's going to happen. And if it does happen, please quote me on it. Quote me on this video right now, because I bet that does happen. Like, I feel like it's going to happen. But anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel. I'm sure it's going to be a mixed crowd. It's going to be people like, man, Tick, you crazy, man. You young. And you don't even make no sense, man. It's going to be good. Because that's what you get all the time on YouTube. You know, people just talk reckless. And then you're going to probably have some people like, yeah, I agree with you, Tick. So I just want to know. I just want to know, man. Just let me know. What do you guys think about the PS4 Neo, man? Because honestly, I think it's a dumb idea. I think it's going to hurt Sony in the long run. And not to mention that Yoshida has already come out and pretty much kind of said that the PlayStation 5 isn't going to be, may not even be a thing. But we'll talk about that in a later commentary. But anyway, this is your boy Tick, a.k.a. Game Fanatic to Michael Jordan Gaming, and I'm gone. Bye!